Hello. Welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. We haven't been on for a few Mondays live. We've been playing some encore broadcasts for you. Um, Traveling, we did a lot of that this summer. And so we decided just to play some of the shows from the spring to bring us up to the summer. We'll come back in September with a new lineup of wonderful people for you to meet and be introduced to. But today I decided to come on because it's a solemn day. I have joy in my heart because I just finished closing out my family reunion here in Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm going to leave the joyous part for the end. But what I want to talk about is counting our blessings. Okay, because life is short, and people are going through trying times. And every time we see one disaster after another, the floods that have killed people, the heat, the overbearing heat, and now this hurricane fire in Maui. So, what I want to do is just impart to you my feelings about family and being grateful. Everybody's story is different. My story is that 13 years ago almost, I married Mr. Jack Miller, who was just Minister Jack Miller at the time, but now is Pastor Miller. And last Sunday, my husband came down with COVID for the second time. Okay. But we got him to the hospital. He had to stay all week. And I'm counting my blessings because as of Friday, he was released, but acquired some type of infection. So we'll have to deal with that for a month. But I am grateful that he's still here with me. And I'm going to be Nurse Nightingale until we get through this. They say the Lord doesn't put more on you than you can handle. Well, in the midst of Jack Miller being in the hospital, I had relatives coming from California, Colorado, Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta. Somebody else came from somewhere else. I can't even think. But they were coming here, so I had to isolate myself from my husband so that I could be with my family because I was the hostess with the mostest. And it turned out beautiful. I'll tell you more about that, but I'm going to go to Maui. If we thought COVID was bad, just imagine the people that lived in paradise. Hawaii is like being able to live in paradise. You got the ocean all around you. You got the beaches. You've got a beautiful landscape where a lot of people go to retire. And if you're fortunate enough to be able to live on one of the islands, that's kind of walking into high cotton living to live in Hawaii. But a whole city was burned out, just like that city that was burned out in California a few years ago from the wildfires. Fires are a dangerous thing. And controlling it, can't do much about that. But I'd like for everyone just to take a moment when you're with your family and you're having a meal like this is our dinner time conversation, that you give thanks. You give thanks for being able to have dinner with your family. And you say a prayer for all those people who families were lost, burned up in their cars, burned up in their homes, that could not get away. I can't imagine what that's like. Um, if you are benevolent, if you are a giver, this is one of those times maybe you should give. You should give to that cause because you are in a place, you are here to be able to help somebody whose life has been turned upside down. They are living with clothes on their backs, literally. You know, you just think, when the shoes on the other foot, we can't imagine this right now. I mean, even the people, the tornado down in Western Kentucky and the floods in Eastern Kentucky. The houses that exploded yesterday, just 2 houses blew up. So whether you knew it or not, we are not in control. So I'm going to say, get yourself right with the Lord. Everybody needs to get right with the Lord. Because, tomorrow is not promised. And if we are here today, we have to be thankful and we have to pray for others that they get the help that they need. If there's a way that you can help and I can help, I'm going to find my way to do what I think I need to do to help somebody else. Because as the last living member in my immediate family, my father's gone, my stepfather's gone, my mother's gone, my brother's gone. The one that's left is me. So not to have family, I understand it, but my situation is definitely different than the people in Maui. There was an unpredicted, unexpected turn of events, some nature, some man-made things, because the alarms did not go out to give people warnings. And then the winds were high. Okay. Blew down some of the power lines. People couldn't get out of their cars because the power lines were live. If you could see the cars, I know some of you probably have seen some of the pictures on TV. It's horrifying, absolutely horrifying. But I didn't want to have a guest today because my scheduling for my guest doesn't start till all my new guests will come on the 1st of September. And time is just rolling by, but I wanted to come on so you could hear my voice and my plea to be benevolent, be your brother's keeper. And if you can share something with those over in Maui, do so. We've got to find a way to start being able to really help one another. I think God created us for that reason, that we were supposed to be our brother's keeper. Most people don't agree with that. You feel that way until it happens to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where that came from. Until something happens to you and you need help, do you understand what it feels like to need help and not get it? So I'm going to ask all my viewers, whoever's watching today. I may not have anybody watching today because I haven't been on for a minute. It may be like I'm starting all over again. And that's okay. because there were some things that I had to do that didn't allow me to be here with you every week. Um, I enjoyed living my life to the fullest and trying my best to live my best life. So I traveled a little bit. I went to a convention with my husband. He went to his family reunion, and I just had mine here in Louisville, and it was spectacular. But before we jump to that one, let's take a minute. I'd like to take a minute of silence for all those who died in such a horrible way in Maui. To die in flames, burn up cars in their homes, couldn't get out, running down the street, died when they jumped in the water. Maybe they couldn't swim, don't know how that came about, or just they died. And they mentioned just a few minutes ago that some bodies were found in the water, and that the relatives of those people that were in Maui, they're going to need samples, DNA samples, so they can identify people. And you're going to have to just wait 1 minute while I answer my door, because my husband doesn't move that fast right now. So wait a minute. The medicine's here. Wait. I got it down. Thank you. Oh. Life had to get the medicine. I was saying I want us just to take a moment of silence for those in Maui. They need our prayers, and we need to. They say when prayers go up, blessings come down. So let's take a moment, say a prayer so we can get some blessings for those in Maui. Okay. Now let's get to being thankful for our families. And August is really kind of like family reunion time. The end of the summer, the kids are going back to school, and you get one more chance to see all your cousins and aunties and uncles at family reunions. My family has been having family reunions for the last really 50 years. And it started at the repass of a relative up in Detroit, Uncle Harry, my mother's uncle, my great uncle. And they decided that the rest of the family decided that they wanted to stop meeting and seeing each other just at somebody's funeral. So they started our family reunion. It's called the Heron Bradford Family Reunion. And when it comes to one of my first cousins' homes or cities where they live, who are Monroes, we put Heron Bradford Monroe Reunion, just to pay honor to our parents. So this weekend I had about 30 of my relatives from all over the country. And we stayed at the fabulous, I'm going to plug the fabulous Embassy Suites in Louisville on 4th and Muhammad Ali. my family raved about the rooms. They raved the high ceilings because you remember it used to be Stewart's department store. They raved about the rooms. They were just elegant, and it was just top shelf. Um, they have complimentary breakfast. They had a complimentary happy hour, beer and wine. Okay, how many times you been to a hotel lately that has perks? This wasn't Hampton Inn or Holiday Inn that make little express breakfasts. They had full out buffet breakfast or cook to order. You hear me? Embassy Suites in Louisville, downtown, all that. And I decided to do our banquet in a restaurant. Usually we get a room in the hotel, a banquet room in the hotel. But the cost was a little bit crazy to me. I didn't see the service charge that they have. It was a little much. But downstairs was the Black-owned 4-star, 5-star restaurant, Brendan's Catch 23. And we were able to be they have a private dining room. So I took my family to this private dining room. We had 2 dishes, 2 entrees, either salmon or brisket. The atmosphere was fabulous. We paid homage to our deceased relatives since 2010. In 2009, we did a candlelight vigil at our family reunion in Las Vegas. That's the last time we've done a candlelight vigil. So what I did this time was I had a montage of pictures of all those members that had been deceased since 2009. I started in 2010 up to present day. And there were quite a few. Some very recent, some that, touched everybody's death touches people in different ways. The ones that touched me the most naturally would be my mother, my brother, my niece. My niece just passed. It's going on 9 months, it'll be a year in October. But I had cousins, close cousins, first cousins to pass away. And so I did this montage, and they appreciated that. We also honored one of our relatives. Her name is Charlene Dolores Thomas. Charlene is the last founding member of our family reunion. Okay. So as she's getting older, she's not able to travel. And she had never missed a family reunion. So I asked to switch places with Chicago. We were supposed to be in Chicago this year, but I asked if we could come here so that she could attend and we could honor her. She's in her late 80s. So she was our guest of honor. She got a whole lot of love from the family. Everyone was glad to see her. She was glad. She ate good. She was dressed up. She looked so gorgeous. I'll probably put some pictures up on Jantastic Productions Facebook page when I get around to that. But I've been rolling. I've been, Chaka Khan said, I'm every woman. I have been every woman this weekend. So I jumped out of the hostess for the family reunion, had to come home to take care of my husband. And, but I don't want to leave my audience out. So, what's going on in my life, because I had to muster up a whole lot of energy to sit down and do this today. Because I've been trying to get upstairs and climb in my bed for the last 4 or 5 hours, and it just didn't work. So I hope you understand. um, and can appreciate that sometimes you have to take time out to be thankful and time out to give thanks and ask for prayers for other people, not just yourself, but other people. It's not always about us. It ain't always about me. It ain't always about you. So um, it's kind of a sullen show. But I just think sometimes you have to pay attention to the things that are going on around us. You know, I have fallen in love with doing this podcast, and I want it to be bigger and better than ever, and I will continue to work on that as I get my new guest scheduled for the third year. Is this the third year? I started in 20. I guess this would be the third year. I started really October of 2020, 21, 22, October 23 will be 3 years. Okay. And I enjoy doing this because I love to impart information. I love to learn about new things and meet new people. Aside from me being an entertainer, that was always a part of my life. I was able to travel and see the world, meet new people, learn about different cultures. So when I'm here with you, I'm sharing with you all the things that I am privy to, the people I have been privy to meet, the places I have been privy to go, and the different situations or events that I have been invited to. A couple of weeks I attended the honor ceremonies for Mr. Ken Clay, who booked me 4 or 5 times in Louisville, 3 times at the Kentucky Center for the Arts. We did one show. He booked me at, what was that, Willie Bright's 537 up in the East End. Yeah. So Ken is really responsible for bringing Black entertainment culture to our city for over, I guess I'm going to have to say 30, 40 years. And he deserved the honor. And so kudos out to you, Ken Clay. And I also want you to know that there is, I think the exhibit is still at the Speed Museum of Dr. Bob Douglas's work. He was an artist, aside from being a professor. So, some places we need to go see, because Louisville is rich in culture. The news takes over about the what's going on, the everyday life and the violence and the crime. But Louisville is a very richly cultured African American city for us that live here, that are from here. We may have been, our basic families may have come. My family came from Mississippi, and but settled here in Louisville. And just want everyone to just take a moment out of your day, remind your children, remind your family how blessed they are to have each other, to be in a family setting, to have a meal together, because there are people that are suffering, people that are going through changes right now, having lost loved ones and friends and other family members from the devastating fires in Maui. So if you can help somebody, help somebody. So we'll be back today's Monday. I'll probably put another encore performance on this Friday. We'll have two more shows in the month of August. I probably won't start on Labor Day Monday, But the Monday after, we'll start out with a whole new cast of new guests that are going to be coming to dinner to share their story with you. A lot of times people don't get to tell their stories. So guess who's coming to dinner? That's where you get to tell your story. If you have a story that you want to tell or something that you think the community needs to know about, I'm on Facebook under Jantastic Productions. I'm on YouTube under Jantastic Productions. I'm on Instagram under Janice Carter 311. Don't ask me. I think they just gave that to me. Um, but I have some plans for how I want to reach more people. And I'd like for you all, if you're watching today, tell somebody else about tuning in every Monday at 7 p.m. and every Friday at 7 p.m. to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Fridays is what I call an encore broadcast. It's just a repeat from Monday's show. So on that note, I would like to say how grateful I am to be able to be here with you. We will pick back up second week of September. And if something else is going on tough enough next week that I feel like I need to come back on and show my face and be live and in living color, I will do just that. But for now, I want us to be just in a mode of being thankful and treating each other like we love each other as family. Because actually, if you have family, that's all you got. Have a blessed day. Bon appetit. Guess who's coming to dinner? I'll see you next week. Take care. Be thankful. Be blessed. Bless somebody. You know what I'm saying? Write a check. They'll be telling you where you can send your money, where you can send clothes and items. These people have nothing. Yesterday, 2 days ago, they did. Today they don't. I hope this rings, touches a place in your heart and makes you feel that you need to do something, even if it's small. But he sees what you're going to do. Who are you? Be who you are. If you'd want somebody to do this for you, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Doesn't mean that it always happens that way. But do your part. You can't control other people's behavior. That's what my mom told me. I love you. Have a good evening. Have a jantastic week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.